Welcome to this preview of UFC Roman Dolidze versus Hernandez UFC Fight Night coming up this weekend, going through the main event. Speaking about that main event and just probably talking about a few bits on the main card as well. So straight into the main event, Roman Dolidze, Hernandez obviously coming up through the division recently. I think Dolidze's 10th ranked and Hernandez is 8th ranked, so look, very close together. An interesting fight as well, I think, for everyone. Reach is 1 inch in favour of Dolidze, so nothing much there. And height, Dolidze's 2 inches taller, 6'2" versus 6 foot, so nothing really there on size wise. But getting into who they fought and who I think will win. So Hernandez beat Kopylov, who just lost to Costa, obviously very recently, but also has beat Almeida and Chris Curtis, which is Kopylov has beat them. He's being beaten by Hernandez. I think Kopylov is a great fighter on the resume of Hernandez, because I think he's quite an awkward fighter. I think only the top guys really beat him. I would say, if you're really going to look towards a top 5 position, you've got to beat a Kopylov. And to be honest, it maybe even be top 10, but I think there is that fight on your resume you need. Costa couldn't finish him, so look, I think you've got to be top 5 to get a good win against Kopylov. I think he is up there, and he will be up there in very soon. I think whoever loses this fight could be fighting a Kopylov sooner rather than later. So getting into one of Hernandez's other fights, Brendan Allen, obviously last time out, I think Allen was given a few problems on the feet, and even on the ground he was reversing things, but look, Hernandez was much better on the ground. Once he got hold, he had control, and when he was in positions he didn't want to be in, with Allen on top, managed to get that reverse quite quickly, get into a dominant position, get some ground and pound off. And look, this is the key thing. Against Allen, who is good on the ground anyway, clearly, he's still got takedowns, he's still got control, he still won the fight. And Allen was giving him some problems on the feet. I think Dolidze will give him some problems on the feet also, but again, I think the same thing happens. Hernandez will get it to the ground against Dolidze, because in the sense of it, and Dolidze, does he have the ability on the ground that Allen does? Will Hernandez be able to dominate him more on the ground? I think he will. I think Hernandez will come in and look to dominate him on the ground, and that'll be his full game plan. He'll know you don't want to stand up at all, and that'll be the key point. I think went for a good few submissions in that Allen fight as well. Good ground and pound, tough to beat over with a decent ground and pound game, but obviously wasn't only a 3-rounder. Didn't give Hernandez the full amount of time he needed to probably get the win there. I think Allen was good enough to try and stall it out as much as possible, not to get finished, and just try and reverse things to get position when he needed to stop anything, and didn't get choked out, managed to hold his own. So you look, that's a good win. I think, look, Dolidze now going on to him. He got, latest fight, Vettori, 2023, lost against him, but then regained the win last time out in 2025. I think, look, it was a good fight. I think he got hurt at points. He hurt Vettori in points, and he got the win. But going into an Hernandez fight, was that the best performance you probably wanted to show? No. I think it did show you were overswinging at points, through combos, or straight off a first punch, your leg was coming up, and really, is that what you want to show against a guy who's going to try and take you down? No, I don't think it is. I don't think it's something you can probably fix that quickly, and you overthrow the hook, the lead hook especially, which lifts is lifting your leg up as you go for the first punch or the second punch. It lifts you off the ground. You've got no defense against takedown when that happens. I think that's a real problem. And Vettori got you hurt. That was key. Vettori got you hurt. I don't see Hernandez hurting you on the feet, but I do see him getting a takedown when he's just going, look, I'm looking for a takedown. I know you're going to try and overswing. or your punches, you're going to take something off your punches, which isn't the standard for yourself and isn't the reason you got there. And so actually you go, oh, I'm going to jab out there. Hernandez takes one to give one, and you start going, oh, actually, I've got to start throwing again. And suddenly you start having to put so much in them punches totally again, and your game plan goes straight out the window. So, look, I think it's tough for Dolidze coming into this. I think it's a tough fight for him, an awkward fight for his style. If a guy's going to stand up, I think Dolidze has a chance here. But against a guy who's, last fight, he's coming off his feet on the lead leg on punches against Vettori. I don't see that not happening against Hernandez at least once or twice, and suddenly you're on the ground. So, and it's a 5-round fight. I think that favours Hernandez's game plan anyway. But purely around just, look, if he gets him down in round 1 or 2, he can hold him there, try and push the pace on the ground, try and get some chokes and submissions, make him work hard on the ground, which will just sap that energy on the feet, and there just will be a lot less coming back from them later rounds. I think 5-round fight really benefits Hernandez and his style. I think 3-round fights are a place where I still favour Hernandez, to be honest, but it would be less favourable in a 3-round fight. Because if Dolidze gets a knockdown in one of them rounds, suddenly you go, actually, this is a lot more in favour of Dolidze. But even if he gets a knockdown, there's 4 other rounds. I think, and in a 5-round fight, do I see Hernandez dominating 3 rounds out of the 5? I do, and I see it quite early. I see round 1 going to Hernandez from a takedown where Dolidze tried to overswing and get something on Hernandez. He overswings. Leg comes up, Hernandez straight into a double leg, bang, straight down into at least half guard and get some ground and pound off, tries to get an arm triangle. I see that happening round 1, and I think Dolidze after round 1 goes, I've got to get something on him to get some respect back and make him not want to come in for takedowns. And look, that's the game where you go, well, is he gonna connect, or is he gonna get taken down again? Because it's one or the other. You either connect with a big shot or you get taken down in this situation. And look, over 5 rounds is very tough to just stop him from taking you down. It's tough enough for anyone, and no one's really done it, and no one's really stopped him terribly well. And especially Dolidze, I don't think he's got the ability to stop them takedowns like he would need to over this 5-round fight. To get the win over, look, it's either the only way I can think of is a KO, TKO. So catch them with a big shot and that's it. But do I think Hernandez will do? No, I don't think he's going to be trying to fire back and trade with Dolidze. So I think that's when you would get caught. So let me know what you think about this fight in the comments down below and your thoughts on who's going to win. Just going through a few other fights on the card. Obviously, Steve Herzeg versus Ode Osborne. Look, Steve Herzeg coming off a few losses. Osborne coming in there. He's done quite well recently, but look, I think Steve Herzeg is a step too far for him, to be honest, at this stage at least. I think Herzeg is a good fighter. His fight, fought for the title, I believe, very, very recently. Obviously, coming on a downturn, but yeah, I don't. He's now unranked, so that sort of makes more sense. But look, Pantoja was 3 fights ago, type thing. So he's fought Pantoja, he's fought Kai Kara France, who he lost to as well, and then he lost to Brandon Moreno last time out in March. So look, I don't know if that's true if he's unranked, because that would be a bit harsh with the people he's fought. But currently here is saying unranked from my information. But look, he's a great fighter. I don't see Osborne getting this done. I think that's a tough fight. I think people are probably... he's coming off 3 losses, but Herzeg is still a top tier fighter. He's only lost against the best there. So look, I think Steve Herzeg makes easy work of that one. And look, Osborne's a young up and coming fighter. It's a bit of a big step too soon, I'd say. for him. But look, you have to take the opportunities when you get them. And if he puts in any type of decent performance against him, stays in there with Urzek for a good long time, or even gets it to a decision, you go, look, he's better than we thought he was at this point. So, look, enough ability, even if Osborne loses, to gain something out of it. On to the next fight. Angela Hill versus Lucindo. Obviously, Lucindo coming in top prospect. Angela Hill been in the fight game quite a long time now. But Lucindo obviously losing against Lemos in March. And yeah, that was a bit of a derailing for her. I think it was tough fight to watch a bit, because it was sort of this currently goes a bit of a look, you need a bit more time, I would say, but you've got it. To be honest, you've got it. You're 23 years old. You've got plenty of time. The fact you're in the UFC at 23 is quite crazy. So look, plenty of time. This, Angela Hill is 40. And she's coming off a win, but win, loss, lost against Lemos in 2021 as well. Look, I think Lucindo's going to get this done. I think it's tough to see that not happening. And I think she comes back with a good fight, good win, good. Angela Hill's a well-known name as well to beat as well, to get that on your record, which is always good. And the reach is a couple inches better for Lucindo, which will benefit her. But yeah, I think Lucindo's just needs time to learn to beat that top, sort of close to top 10 level fighter, which she has got. And I think Angela Hill is a good fight for her to take now. And it will show, look, where are you at? Because if Angela Hill stops you, or you lose on a decision against Angela Hill, well then, look, there's questions to be asked. But look, it's a must-win fight for Lucindo to keep that hype going. I think the whole point is that you are going to lose in the UFC nowadays. You will, at that age coming in, you are going to be pushed up the rankings. If you do make a big name for yourself and people want to watch you, you're going to have to take matchups that are less favourable. You don't get built up as slowly as you probably should do. And you will take losses, but them losses should teach you, and you should, if in the next fight, come back and get a win, and that'll really show a learning from the last fight. I think she gets it done. I don't see her not getting it din, which will be a great result for her and really push on. Because she is one of the biggest names in that division, even though she is, she's 9th ranked, I believe, in UFC strawweight. So, is a very good prospect. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If there's any other fights that you think are amazing on this card. I've just went through the top 3 cards on the fights on the billing, but there's some other good fights on there. It's a UFC fight night. Some prospects coming through, but yeah, top 3 fights I think pretty good. Got Andre Fili in the next fight as well, which is pretty good, which I won't go through, but look, you got some good fights. You got some really good fights. Some I think where you're going to see some knockouts or some good striking, and some good ability overall. So yeah, pretty good fight card, I would say. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.